All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Black Fatherhood Podcast. My name is Jay Cortez Thomas, and this is. We also have our guest,
Saloome Muhammad.
Saloome Muhammad, and we are back talking about mental health in the Black community, especially with Black men and Black fathers. Before we last episode, we left off talking about how we influence our children in the home and their mental health stability within the home based on the precedent that we set. I kind of want to continue on that just because in the break we touched on some real cool stuff. So basically, we are the catalyst for whatever happens with our kids. They see us, they're gonna mimic it. But we were also talking about choices, right? Once again, choices. It comes down to, but also opportunities to make those choices. Once again, we got to create an environment in which the kids and the dads and the moms and whoever's involved have to have multiple outlets so that they have multiple choices to pick for what they do with mental health. So whether it's talking to a girlfriend, a friend of yours, a dude, whatever, somebody at the church, a pastor, whoever, talk to somebody. And then on the flip side, what do you do with that stress? Where do you take it? Saloome likes to go fishing. I think that's cool. I like to fish. My thing, one of my outlets got taken away from me when we talked about in the break. I ruptured my Achilles tendon on the left. Then I ruptured my right one playing basketball. Basketball for me was the biggest outlet. I could literally get a ball. I need to start doing that. And I told my wife I got to get a hoop again. But if I get a ball and a hoop, I don't even have to I don't have to play no game. It could just be me and the hoop. If I put up shots, it's just me and that. I'm dribbling, I hear that ball just hit the ground. Something about it just does it for me. I could do it in the rain, I could do it cold, it don't matter. Put a hoodie on, whatever, I'm out there shooting. Music is an outlet for me. That's why I was rapping for so many years. That's why I did what I did, because music was an outlet for me. Still is, but I don't really do it as much anymore. But writing is an outlet for me. I write just random stuff all the time. Like I write. The other outlet for me that I think is positive is I like to get involved in stuff like this, because things that bother me, I get to get out. Like the biggest thing that was bothering me was that statistic. When I found that statistic about Black fatherhood in the home, bothered the mess out of me. And I was like, well, what am I going to do about it? So now I have an outlet to actually do something about it. And that's what makes me happy, seeing that we have an opportunity to give Black men something that they don't get somewhere else. It's an outlet for me. Dwayne, you asked Saloome what his outlet was. What is your outlet for stress?
My stress outlet, it came with basketball. And then when I stopped playing basketball, I had to find an alternative. And for a minute, I struggled. Like, I love to write. I do poetry, short stories. And, like, that's just something that I love to do. So I leaned on that more. So when I wasn't able to have a ball in hand. But I would definitely say basketball, writing, and then outside of that, it would be with being with my children. Like, they are a stress relief for me outside of, I guess you could say, the worldly things and what life brings. Being able to sit with them and have that legitimate time, that's a stress relief for me, definitely.
Yeah, I'll second that. Being around my kids, as crazy as they can get sometimes.
You got energy.
Yeah.
For me, it's no better feeling than being able to look at them and just really see the joy and stuff and excitement that they get from just spending time
With their dad.
laying next to you, watching TV or whatever the case, but they're genuinely excited.
Yeah.
I gotta be able to relax in that moment. There's no point in everything else is pointless. They're not caring about nothing else. So yeah, I definitely use them as a stress relief. I can't get back on court. We gotta do that soon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got the Black Fatherhood
Exactly.
basketball tournament coming real soon, but
So,
yeah. But I ain't playing. But I ain't trying to break nothing else. But I feel like, because this was the topic that was coming up, and I had talked to my boy Dave, and we were talking about But just this, like, what do you do? This is the funny thing. Stuff like this makes you have them conversations because we never had that conversation. I never asked them, what do you do to de-stress? What do you do to, that's what the word we're using, decompress. What do you do to decompress? I don't know. I didn't really think about it. And then when he starts sharing how he decompresses, I'm like, I probably should try that. Then vice versa. So now we have fishing. I forgot I like to fish. I forgot because I ain't done it in so long. I don't have a tackle box. I don't have no pole.
Right.
I don't have that stuff no more. I may need to go get it, just because that's something I like to do. But until we have these conversations, we don't know what we could do to de-stress and decompress. And it don't have to be something to take a lot of money either. Like that's the thing about it. Like picking up a basketball, going to a gym, going to the corner school, that's free. You know what I mean? Going to the park with your kids is free. Fishing ain't free, but it don't cost that much money to do, and like certain hobbies and certain things that people do, I'm just learning that it's a way to get their mind off of the day to day. And whatever you could do to get your mind off the day to day, because I mean, like I said in the last episode, Black men, we are stressed out. We got a lot to be stressed out about. We got a lot to do every day. We got a lot of responsibilities. You don't have to be responsible in that moment. You don't have to, in that moment, it's just you and that water. It's just you and that ball. It's just you and whatever. And I feel like the more that we do, that's a weird sound. You know what I'm saying? It's just going to better us in the future. So I'm trying to learn what those things are, learn what I do to decompress so that my kids, I can share that with them. Like Saloome, I didn't know that till you told me, but he takes his kids fishing. That's sharing his decompression with the next generation. And so it's like, they might, when they get older, have their kids and they doing the same thing. And why do you do this? I don't know. My dad did it with me and I felt good doing it. So I do it again, and they don't even know why, but it's a way for them to decompress. And we all need to know what those things are and have options towards them.
Yeah, because it gets back to our options. Because if we don't have many options when it comes to that decompression, it's gonna fall short. You gotta figure out what helps you or where you can let it out, and without it being something radical, it don't have to be much. Like my daughter loves to draw, and she'll come to me, Dad, can you draw with me? Yes, I'll take that time for us to get into a whole little moment where we're just vibing with each other, and I'm free. I love to draw too, and it's ironically passed on to her.
Right.
It's kind of cool, so to see the same thing in her and then want her, love it. I'll go de-stress with her anytime. Want to draw? I'll ask her, hey man, you want to draw today?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm feeling some type of way, but I know when I go into this, I'm better. I'm cool. I like that chamomile tea.
Yeah.
To relax.
Yep.
So it's just finding that comfort zone and believing in it and understanding you're supposed to have a sense of peace. You're not supposed to have all that weight on your shoulders and just be stressed all the time because we're men and that's what we're supposed to do.
Right.
No. Yeah, you can be Superman every day, but Superman is still Clark Kent.
Right.
So you still gotta be able to release yourself sometimes.
And I feel like mental health also is tied to your physical health a lot of time. And I don't think we talk about that enough in the Black community as much as like we got to take care of our bodies because it does help your mental state. You know what I'm saying? How we eat, it helps your mental state. You have more vegetables, more whole foods. It helps you in your mental state because you feel alert. You feel, you feel good. You feel good. You are good. You know what I'm saying? So like working out, like I was more consistent at a time. I'm trying to get back into it. Yesterday was the first time I was at the gym in like probably a couple months. But the thing is I always watch what I eat. I don't necessarily work out as much as I should, but I watch what I eat. But I started doing that when I started feeling bad all the time. And I was like, why am I feeling bad? Maybe it's this cheeseburger. Might be a, you know what I'm saying? They might be connected. So as I started eating better, then I started feeling better. I was always an athlete. And so I knew what feeling good was. And then I knew how I felt. I didn't feel the same. So I was like, I got to go back to my athlete days. I got to eat right. I got to do this, that, and the other. I don't think we stress that enough too much in the Black community. We need to do that more, especially as Black men. We gotta take more responsibility and accountability when it comes to physical health. I started this journey like 3-4 years ago. I was 226 pounds. I'm 175 pounds. So
we the same.
Yeah.
183.
Yeah. So the difference in how I feel from 226 down to 170 is different. And so it's like, I'm saying this as a testament, like your mental health is really,
change that you made in your body helped that mental.
it really helped my mental. Yeah. It really helped my mental a lot. And sometimes when I start feeling a certain way, I'm wondering like, is it just because I ain't been? So I watch my diet again. I start getting back in the gym, whatever. My sleep's not right. If I'm not waking up good, this, that, and the other. So I think we definitely got to do that. But decompression is huge. Another thing is creating an environment in your house. You have to create it.
Yes.
So there may be a room you have. It's got a TV in it. That's where you go watch the game. That's dad's room, whatever it is. You got to create that environment in your own home. My kids, my wife, she knows like what my time is after I put the kids to bed. So it's about an hour after I put the kids to bed, between like 9 and like 10:30. Like I kind of just like decompress from the day. Like I'm just like, whatever, do whatever, watch something, do something, just whatever. I don't want to really talk. I don't want to. Then I'm back to me,
right.
But I got to have that time in the morning. I'm a stickler for that. Like, don't talk to me first thing in the morning. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad for you. It's not good for nobody. It just really ain't good for nobody. Talk to me that early in the morning. My daughter's just like me. She wake up cranky. She's not. I take that back. She's very pleasant in the morning, but she just don't want to talk to you for like 10 minutes because she's still sleepy. Like leave me alone. Me, I'm cranky. Don't talk to me. Like, just leave me alone. Let me once I'm up, okay, I'm good. But I need that time, and you have to learn you and learn what's good for you. Because a lot of time, because we're men and we have families and we sacrifice a lot, and we sacrifice our own selves sometimes. We sacrifice our own time. We sacrifice our own energy. My wife had to get me on that. She was like, that's really what's kind of catapulted me taking care of myself and doing all these things. And she was like, we had kids, and all of a sudden it became about everything else but yourself, which is okay because you have to, right? I got to give up some stuff. I got to sacrifice for my family. I got to sacrifice for my kids. I got to sacrifice, but I can't lose all of myself.
I think that's where we come into like a little fog there, because we do as men, when we get our families and our kids and whatnot, we're trying to give them everything we didn't have or whatever the case may be. So we're going gung-ho, straight balls to the wall. We lose sight of ourselves and what used to make us happy, and those little things that in a sense was us. You lose that little essence. Like you said, it is okay because you have your responsibility, but in the midst of all that, you have to try and keep yourself. And if you do lose it, it's okay, but you
got to get back
to it and make sure you get back to who you were and find that common ground of, I know how to operate for myself and make sure that I'm happy. Because if I'm not happy and being able to operate, I can't help them or be beneficial for them.
Right.
You have to find that common ground. It's not easy.
It's not, because you love them. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love being a business owner and the people under me and all that kind of stuff. But I can't serve everybody and forget me completely. Now, I give up a lot, but I'm not going to give all of it. And there was a time when I was giving all of myself and forgetting myself. And so I was the last person on the list. And I got to be second to last or something. I can't be just dead last, because you just got to have a little bit for yourself. You got to have a little bit left for you. We give up so much as Black men that our jobs, we give a lot to our spouses, we give a lot to our kids. You got to have some reserve though for yourself.
And it's funny because I was just having a conversation recently, and it's the intent on being quote unquote selfish. It's okay. Like when it comes to your mental health and your well-being, it's okay to be selfish.
A little bit selfish, yeah.
Because you're thinking about your well-being. It's not taken away from how you feel about this person or that or the situation, whatever case. No, but it's okay to have that little bit of selfishness to make sure you're able to put any attention or whatever case can be to this and to that. Because if you don't, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose yourself, and that situation is not gonna come out the way you want it because you weren't able to take it on head and strong. So it's tough.
Yeah, and you finding that balance. Finding that balance is tough. And right now, like I use something to decompress, and I gotta stop because I do it too much. I play this game called Call of Duty,
Yeah.
but it's the mobile version on the iPad.
Right.
Yeah, and it's easy because I ain't gotta put it on the TV. I ain't gotta get a. I don't have I gotta get rid of my game console because there was only one game I played on it. It was NBA 2K, and I was like, I'm not buying a whole console just to play NBA 2K. I'm not doing that.
Listen, I haven't got the PS5.
So I got rid of that bad boy, and so for years I didn't play video games, and then I got on to Call of Duty Mobile, and at first I wasn't good at it, so I didn't play it. Then I got real good at it, and then I was like on it all the time. So now it is a decompression for me, but it's a little too much. Like I do it a little too much. Like my wife sometimes be like, "Hey, you still on the game?" I'm like, "Yeah, I gotta get off." But now I see how people become gamers. Like I wasn't never like that coming up as a kid. Like I played a game, put it down, but
Well, you know the day gone.
yeah.
Responsibilities ain't being handled.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, man. Like it's just because I was never that. I was never that dude to sit there all day. But then you just get into it. Your mental state is I'm in it, so you just forget about the time and But we do need that though. You do need that mental space to get away from whatever it is that you're doing on the day to day and just be.
Yeah, you have to.
Just be. I mean, whatever it is. Like for us, as believers, we use our time with God to get away and be in that space. You got to be able to give it up. You know what I mean? I lay my burdens down. You know what I mean? Like I can't just hold on to this stuff. And we do it a lot and we got to stop as Black men because you see the high blood pressure. You see a lot of this stuff is based on stress. It's based on stress because they've done studies where they had, because they try to say it's all environmental based. It's not. They try to say it's all diet. It's not, because they've taken Black men in the U.S. I'm not saying abroad because it's different, but in the U.S. you take a Black man, put him in a certain environment, eats a certain way, does this, and that, and the other, because of just the social ills of life as a Black man. And we tend to hold on to and not release. They tend to still have a little bit higher blood pressure. They still have those same type of issues and things like that are related to stress because we don't decompress. We don't let that stress go, regardless of the situation that we're in. So we have to be mindful that exists, and we just got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because the next generation of kids is watching us decompress, so they got to jump in and be able to do the same thing. And they got to see ways to do it. Saloome, his kids are watching him fish. They out there fishing too. They're decompressing and don't even know it. And that's the cool part about it, is he's teaching them something of value that they could take with them. He was talking in the break about things of value that is valuable for them to take on, not only for themselves, but for their kids. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, I'm gonna go off on a tangent. So he was talking about value, and I work right now in a workspace called Bitwise. Bitwise was developed for marginalized people to be able to learn code, computer graphics and code and different things that opportunities that most Black, Mexican American, Asian American kids don't get. And they brought it in an area where they can give this away for free. And they bring these kids into these classes. They teach them these skills so that they can take those skills on and make money. Because Saloome was talking about how a lot of those kids are in situations where they got to make money now. They can't go to school for 7, 8, 9 years and hold off and wait and do this and that with student loans and all this stuff. They got to be able to make it happen. And so they need skills and real things that they can actually apply. And so everything is applicable if we teach it and we give them something of value to take with them. And that goes for real skills, valuable skills towards money and the career. That goes towards skill building to learn how to deal with stress. That goes to skill building, learning how to deal with anything. We got to give that generation a chance and an opportunity to take something with them, something real, you know? Because Saloome, what you were saying in the break was real, man. Taking something of value, like giving something of value to these kids that they could use to make money for themselves and make a career for themselves, make a life for themselves, get a wife, get kids, get all this stuff for themselves. They have to have things of value that they can actually apply. Because we don't give them nothing to value. The school system ain't giving them nothing to value. Them schools ain't giving you nothing. You come out, most of the people come out smarter doing it on their own.
Yeah.
Going and getting their own skills, you know what I mean? And then what the schools can teach you.
Skills than what they're getting out of the books.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been able to apply it in a different manner.
And it's applicable to the real world.
It's in it's real life situations that they're able to adapt it to.
Yeah. Like this stuff ain't applicable to the real world. You giving me something I can't go out there and take right now and make something out of. If it ain't something I can actually put and apply and make something out of, then I don't need it. And so that's what these kids are trying to tell the school system is you're failing me because you're not giving me anything that I feel of value. And so I'm not taking anything with me to go do anything other than what I do.
Right. And seeing that's how us as fathers, we have to be that same tangent and give our kids something of value so they don't go and lean to someone else or in the streets and whatever the case may be to figure out what their value comes from or what
the value system is. Because just like Saloome was saying, whatever we value, whatever we put our energy, whatever we put, we gonna do it to the fullest. And so it's like, whether that's gangbanging, whether that's, robbing, whatever that is, but if you give the opportunity, you give choices and you give things of value, now you have a ability to go apply that and do that somewhere else. Like I always see, man, I was saying this the other day, drug dealers make the best entrepreneurs. Look at Jay-Z, look at some of these other guys that have Dame Dash that took what they learned from the streets because it applies, it's applicable. What they learn there, they can apply to a business world and do it in a different way. But they probably would have become that anyway had they had the opportunities early on. They would have applied it to something that was positive and do what they did. But because they didn't have anything but the negative, they applied it to the negative. Now they became kingpins out there, which is still negative, but they still applied what they learned, which was of value. So what I'm saying is, if you give kids this stuff of value early, you could have the mogul Jay-Z versus the drug dealer Jay-Z.
Yeah, you have a mogul coming off top instead of going through the whole process of the drug dealer because you've already given them something to stand on.
Right.
They didn't have to figure it out from digging it up. No, you already gave it to them, so now they can climb.
And that's the same thing with mental health. If you give them the things of value to be applicable to their life, they now have the outlet. So when they get older, they know to go fishing. I know to go play basketball. My dad told me to draw.
Oh, let's go draw.
Right.
Yeah, where's my pole? Like, come on, like I'm not feeling good today.
And then you ain't gonna have them blow up moments.
Exactly.
Where
angry black kid or angry black mom, woman, whatever the case, there's nothing of that sort. I mean, life happens, but when you learn to do better, you will do better.
Right, right. And if you have the opportunity, it's all opportunity choices. It's all options. Well, this is the Black Fatherhood Podcast. My name is Jay Cortez Thomas. This is
Dwayne Wilson, man.
Saloome Muhammad.
And we just talked about mental health in the Black community. Y'all, it is real. We have to do something. We can't keep going the route that we've been going and doing the same thing and expecting different results. It's time to really check in mental health. If you have a community of people around you, check in. Your kids, check in. Everybody needs to know where everybody's at, and everybody needs to know, do you have an outlet? And if you don't have one, here's one that I use that you can use to decompress and get yourself right. Because we got to get ourselves right in our community, and we got to do it because we're dying out here of all these diseases related to stress and high blood pressure and all this other stuff because we just don't let it out. Let it out. Talk to somebody.